This is Jamie with BRI. In this video, we're going to discuss why we cannot use a menu report or a point of sale report called Menu Breakdown from Toast. To provide a bit of background here, obviously the purpose of running a sales report for using with BRI is to provide an exact and precise record of exactly what was sold down to the ounce. With most of the point of sale systems, Toast being our most common integration, we have a particular process. We know that which report we run that has the right information. And often there is sort of gray area and reprogramming the point of sale to follow the principle of one drink, one button, where instead of extensively using modifiers, but we ring up drinks using their own dedicated button, and we differentiate and make additional buttons for different sizes of drinks. And on the side, when we use modifiers, we start by ringing up the spirit in the size, like 1.5 ounces or 3 ounces, and then we modify it just for the presentation. That is the way that has to work. Here, a customer of ours has pointed out that there is this report available in Toast, the menu breakdown report, and I want to explain why it's not suitable. So here we look at a martini section. You think this looks good, right? Because we've got martini kettle, so most martinis are double pour. So we know there's 15 sold, $270, and that's the level of information we want. The challenge is that there's 111 martinis sold, and then there's this additional button or line here for 64 martinis. So if all of these added up to 64, we would know that this was just summarizing how many total martinis, and this was the breakdown. But when it doesn't match, it means we don't know what to do with this button. And to have 64 martinis rung in a way where we can't identify the product is obviously a significant problem. Another reason it's problematic here is the duplication. We've got the same problem here where the number of modifiers in this case is 19, but then we've got an 11 here, so it's unclear. The other challenge here is what we should be having is singles, doubles. If we're not charging for rocks, we don't need to have a button for it. And so the challenge with this report is it shows too much detail. What you get is instead of a single, a double button, we've now got dirty, BC olives, twist, and rocks, and it becomes a lot more challenging to manage the recipe. So instead of having 2 buttons, we now have to write 6 buttons, and the chance of us getting recipes wrong and the chance of when we're trying to audit and understand why Grey Goose is off, it just makes things a lot more complicated. So it is frustrating because we have to now go and reprogram this point of sale system. But as always, the benefits of programming your point of sale system correctly are that once you do it and understand that's a big once or if, because it does take some good time, it simplifies the process and improves the accuracy and the simplicity of your reports so that we can ultimately not talk so much about point of sale setup, but talk about bartender performance, which is the aim. And this is obviously a complicated process, and we need to narrow down and simplify the process at every opportunity. And unfortunately, this report does not achieve that goal. So as always, we're happy to work with customers to reprogram their point of sale systems. Our strong suggestion for anyone who is about to implement a new point of sale system is to have a meeting with your account manager in advance of when they start programming to develop a plan, because the trend we see over and over again is us communicating to a manager, them telling the point of sale company, we need this program in a special way, them receiving assurances it will be done correctly, and then it not, and then having to, on their own dime and own time, having to change the programming. What we'd like to do is sit down with someone responsible at the point of sale company for programming, have them show us how they're going to program it, and then show us the report so that in this instance, we could have identified this problem and not programmed it wrongly in the first place. Thanks for allowing us to nerd out on this. But if you're a Toast user, schedule a meeting. We'd love to talk about the correct way to program and the correct way to run your report in Toast. Thank you.